It's January 2023, the Winter World Cup has been and gone, and we have 9 games to play in 30 days. So let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of Life After Lasso. We are at the midway point. We're into January 2023, and there is a little bit of housekeeping to do before we continue. Unfortunately, after we beat Man United and Spurs in the previous games in December, the game crashed on us and we lost some of our data. Thankfully, only those 2 games. Before we get to the league, what it does mean is that in terms of the World Cup, we actually have a different winner. So we do. So if you remember, Spain beat England in the final. We can see here in the semi-final, Spain actually lost to Belgium. Spain then went on to finish third place, beating Argentina in that playoff. And in the final, Belgium went on to lose to England. So congratulations to England on winning the World Cup. And we're especially delighted with the AFC Richmond players that played in that game. Now, as we mentioned, there have been a problem with the 2 fixtures. When we went back to replay the games against Spurs and Man United, fortunately, we didn't pick up the 6 points we had. We only managed to pick up a point. We had quite a heavy defeat against Spurs, so we did, losing there 4-1 at home. We then went on to play Man United, and despite winning 2-1 up until the 85th minute, Bruno Fernandes scored an equaliser, and we only took a point from that game. So December didn't quite finish as rosy as what it did in the previous episode. We then went into January with quite a congested fixture list. We played Man City in the first game. Again, playing the 3-4-3 formation, and we had quite a heavy defeat away to Man City as well, losing 4-1. It was at this point that we decided to change it back to our regular 4-4-2 that we have been using earlier in the season. The FA Cup third round draw had to be redone again because we lost that data. So instead of playing Colchester, we actually then drew non-league Maidstone United. In that game, we did come away with a bit of an unsurprising 5-0 victory. So we did. Ben Woodburn did score his first hat-trick for the club, so we're absolutely delighted with that. And as you can see there, Paddy Cooper, one of our youngsters, made his debut and also scored as well. So great to see that progression. In the next game then, we did play against Stoke in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, and as you can see, Declan Coburn, playing as a striker instead of on the wing, did score all 4 goals in a 4-1 victory. So absolutely thrilled with that as well. I should bear in mind that across the space of 10 games here, there are 44 goals scored, so we're not going to show you all of them because that will take up a bit of time and drag this episode on a little bit longer than previously. We then went back to play in the league, and we played a home game against Bournemouth, and as you can see there, we had a very pleasing 5-1 victory. Declan Coburn scoring again in that game. In the next game then, the Carabao Cup semi-final, we had a very disappointing 2-0 defeat. As you can see, Everton scored in the second minute, and then 9 minutes later, Samuel Wisanya was sent off for a straight red card as well. Later in the game, we also lost Jeff Goodman and Jamie Tartt to injuries as well. Thankfully, nothing too serious there. But it did mean that we couldn't recover in the game as well, and we ended up losing that game 2-0. We picked ourselves up after that. We had a very good home victory with Southampton, beating them 5-1. And as you can see there, Matthias Ginter scoring his first 2 goals for the club, and Declan Coburn scoring another 2 goals as well. We then went away to Leeds, and Declan Coburn scoring again. This time we had a 3-0 victory away. And in the space of 10 games, Declan Coburn has scored 9 goals for us. So he's actually performing extremely well, and certainly a lot better than what I had hoped for. He has been playing mainly as a striker in the absence of Danny Rojas and Jamie Tartt having various injuries as well. So he stepped in and debutised brilliantly up front. We then played our second last game of the month, with a 2-1 victory at home to Newcastle. As you can see, we have another red card in this game, this time Renan Lodi in at left back for 2 yellow cards. So that is the games this month. That's 8 of the 9 fixtures for January, including the 2 previous fixtures in December. It is deadline day today as well. We're about to play Fulham as well on deadline day. not much transfer business. There's been nothing coming in, but we have had some outgoings. As you can see here, Ruthven, Ofaya, Prisk, and Broadfoot have all left the club on permanent deals. We have also sold Jermaine Defoe. Austria Vienna wanted him. He wanted to go. We weren't going to stand his way. We're happy to facilitate that. He is 40 years of age as well. He very much a bit part role at the club, although he has deputised very well when needed due to injuries as well. We have also loaned out Lewis Cook to Armenia Bielefeld. He just wasn't playing games, so he understandably wanted to go out and loan, get some more games. But in losing Cook and Defoe in these two different transfers, it has allowed us to free up a registration place in the squad. So Tyler Shannon has been registered for the second half of the season. Happily enough, we don't need to sell him. So delighted. We also have a couple of youngsters going out on loan in the forms of Thatcher, Fredrickson, Cooper, and Silsavon. Yurda Silsavon, as we know. So that is where we are in terms of transfers. There are 3 hours left of the January transfer window. We're about to play Fulham in this last game. We have the team and everything set up already. We'll just take a quick look. We'll set the opposition instructions. As you can see here, we are kind of struggling a little bit for players due to various injuries and suspensions. We're currently missing 5 players. We're actually going to have to name 2 goalkeepers on the bench. But as you can see, a pretty strong team anyway. We have Samo Bisanya right back. We have Ginter and Ahmed Hodzic in centre back. We are given a debut to Jordan Hackett in at left back due to the injury and suspension of Lodi and Goodman. Kukoc and Shannon in midfield, as we have here. Hossam Awar is injured. He's out for another 2 weeks, unfortunately. Ian Scott continues on the right wing. Colin Hughes has actually been playing very well on the left wing for us and has scored a few goals recently as well. And Coburn and Rojas continue up front. On the bench, Isaac McAdoo is the only concern there. He is ready for first team games, just a little bit shy on first team fitness. We have Josh Harris on the bench as well, and as mentioned, we've promoted Tyler Shannon to be on the bench as well. Other than that, the substitutes mainly are midfield. We don't really have any striker options on the bench. We have promoted a couple of youngsters, as we mentioned, but at the moment that is just on a little bit of a panic basis due to the injuries and suspensions, and they're due to come back very, very soon. So we'll get into the game here against Fulham. It is a late kickoff on deadline day, so there are only 3 hours left in the transfer window. Hopefully we can round off the month with a positive result. So we'll get the teams out here. We're not even going to get a look at their lineup. We could have seen it before, but they have Chambers at a barrow.
Decisive action by the
Dawson
goalkeeper
at the back. I'm not sure who the 4th player was there. Hughes intercepts. There's a good ball forward to Coburn, who's in on the keeper. Nice, put it on. Declan Coburn loves scoring goals. So we like to see that. Puts him second top goal scorer of the season with 13 goals. There's 1 ahead of Danny Rojas and now only 4 behind Jamie Tart. So great ball forward.
Is in a really good position.
That's a nice tidy finish at the near post. Something you may or may not notice, we are sporting the new FC Richmond kit. We have both the 2D and 3D versions here. Just recently, Nike have announced that they are making a new kit for Ted Lasso Season 3. It is a half and half red and blue kit with opposing sleeves, blue sleeve on the red half. So we've made the kits. We've also Nike have only announced the home kit for now, so we've designed our own away kit and created the 2D and 3D versions of them as well. But we're not worried about that just yet because Fulham are getting a few chances. They're doing okay here. They've kind of taken that early goal setback as a bit of a kick up their rear end to try and motivate them back into the game. Great tackle by Ginter. That's no referee. You can't. That's not a penalty. I want a replay. Pardon me. I need a replay. No penalty. It's the right decision, ref. Should maybe turn on the replays for that. Hughes loses out in midfield. Great tackle from Samuel Rosania. Ball goes out left. Rojas keeps it alive. He's going to go across. It has not. Has a goal. We probably should have looked for a pass there instead, but it's not too far wide. We're still one up. You can see the XG is climbing up there. Fulham are fighting their way back in. Ours is 0.53. Fulham have built up to a 0.49. They've actually overtaken us in the graph there, as you can see. Just looking at the subs, Kukoc is struggling already. Scott is not playing well and is struggling. Jordan Hackett's doing okay for his debut. Ball out wide to Hughes, plays it across. Coburn's there. Oh, he's Coburn, I expect better. We might. What are we like for striker options? We can bring Ben Woodburn in on the right wing for Scott. Kukoc is struggling. We'll bring in Dawkins.
Well weighted, beautifully weighted.
Hughes makes the turn. It's corner. It's fine. Subs came in and the corner comes to nothing. Football manager is. I'll say nothing. Thomas Lamar hasn't been involved too much lately. He's just come back as well, so we'll bring him in.
Down the flank.
For Colin Hughes, get a bit of fitness, get him down that line.
Plays it back. He's looking to get there first.
Maybe I should encourage them a bit. I mean, it's not been an easy game, absolutely.
Good passage of passing.
I get into Danny Rojas. Has he got it? Oh, it's a good save from him back. I feel like Danny Rojas could have done better there.
And the volley. The defence got the better of him this time. That's a devilish delivery.
Cool, that's unlucky. You're telling me to bring in Lamar's in. Get theirs up. Goes back. Lamar, you gotta come and win that ball. You can't let that run. But we're hanging on there, so we are.
Out to the left it goes. Cleared away.
Okay, back header Shannon. Gorham picks up this ball. Nothing stupid. Dawkins, good retention. Plays it again there in this.
And looking very comfortable on
the
it.
Hackett. Back down Hozic. Shannon, we got tidy back heel.
Takes the long option. Pinpoint accuracy.
Woodburn, Dawkins with good ball forward to Coburn.
I
can't believe he's put that wide. I think it might have been offside, was it? No, just straight up. Put it wide.
Produced a good ball.
Dawkins with a nice turn in the midfield. He's making a run for it. He's trying to slip the ball in there to Rojas, but it doesn't quite come off. Rojas will turn. Passing again. This time from Taylor Shannon. Get there, runs the ball. Good ball. Woodburn's in. Rojas, has he got it? Oh, what a tackle! Incredible tackle from Carabao. I think that was. I'm not 100% on that. Ball in from Lamar. It's clear by Anguissa. Shannon, that's. Oh, God, it's a terrible pass. We're hanging on. We're struggling to get this, but we might just be lucky enough.
Outmaneuvered off the ball.
If they don't spring a surprise here on us. I thought that was it. It's 3 times you're telling me about their substitutions. You don't need to do that. Football manager.
Drives it forward.
Dawkins plays it wide to Woodburn, and that's it. 4th minute. Really not much happening after that. We controlled most of the game there. Fulham offered very, very little. Bit of a let off. We weren't good. Players reacted well. That's okay. That's fine. That's what we want. So that sees us comfortably in 5th. We have a 5-point gap over Chelsea, so we do. We're being recommended players here. We're not going to look at that. We're not going to We're not going to go through all the final stages of the transfer window. There's 1 hour left to go. We're not going to buy anybody at this stage unless we bring in somebody on loan. Can't really see that happening, to be honest. But we will finish up the episode there. Just very quickly, these are the away kits, the away and third kits we've designed. As you can see here, just 2D kit of the new Nike home kit that they've designed with the banter sponsor as well. And as you would have seen, we play that in the final game there in the 3D version. We do have the 3D versions of the away and the third kit as well. So very much looking to see how they look on the game. But that is it for this episode. Thank you very much again for watching. I do hope you've appreciated it. As always, I'm going to ask if you'd be so kind as to please hit that subscribe button. It allows us to bring you more content like this, and certainly helps with YouTube algorithms and all the rest. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter as well, at Korky Blues as well, and Instagram. Apologies, I forgot about Instagram. But that is it for this episode. We will be back with the next episode where we'll be playing some more games. We have the FA Cup 4th round. Let's see, the calendar has kind of messed up a little bit here. We have the FA Cup 4th round, 4 Premier League games to go, and there will also be a Europa Conference, a Europa League draw as well for the knockout stages. So stay tuned for that. But that is all from me for now. Have a good evening and take care. Cheers.